Good morning. Hello. The grandmother clock is chiming. It must be time to talk about keto. Hi, I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic protocol, how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life, like I did. So, thank you for allowing me to be part of your Saturday. And I hope someone will tell me that you can see and hear me, because I just dive in and I start talking and I never know. And you may hear a rooster in the background. We've got everything closed up, so maybe not. But Oddball, it came into full-throated glory a few days ago. He's a big guy, too. He's about as big as an ostrich. Anywho, today's topic, keto truths, as I see them anyway. And then in parentheses, but what do I know? There is a lot of information out there. Some of it is incorrect. Some of it is designed to make you buy something. Some of it is designed to steer you away from consuming meat, poultry, animal products. Some of it is well-intentioned, but just off the mark. Some of it is not even well-intentioned. I'm going to share with you how I learned, what I learned from how to follow the ketogenic protocol as I learned it and as I have followed it now for 8.5 years. Caveat: if you're doing something and it's working for you and it's different than what I do, muzzle tough. If something works for you, you're happy, healthy, feeling better, engaging with life, do it. There are many paths that lead to the same destination. This is the path that has led me to where I am today, which is in a pretty good place, let me tell you. Mentally, physically, mentally is a mashup of emotionally and mentally. Here's the protocol as I learned it. Keep your carbohydrate intake to 20 grams or fewer a day. Total carbs, not net. If it's not on page 4, link below, don't eat it, but you don't need a food list. Fatty sources of protein, a limited amount of non-starchy vegetables, a limited amount of leafy greens. I mean, they're like, and you don't even need to eat those vegetables or leafy greens. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. And I've started using yet another one. Be patient. Be patient. That's it. You will notice that there are no mention of the M word. Macros. There are no percentages. You don't have to concern yourself with getting in a certain percentage of fat and protein as opposed to in relation to the carbs. You don't have to concern yourself with grams of protein or grams of fat, just total grams, or just grams of total carbohydrate. Don't eat if you're not hungry. That is a challenge for many of us. It's, in my thinking, it's the hardest part, closely followed by stop when you're satiated. Here's not just a keto truth. Here's a truth in general, as I see it. We eat too much food. We all do. Look around. All we have to do is look around. Sometimes we don't have to look around. Sometimes we just have to look in the mirror. We eat more food than we require. Almost everyone. So we have to become comfortable. This is a keto truth. We have to become comfortable with eating less food than we think we need. Here's a keto truth for me. Again, refreshing from the protocol, 20 grams total, don't eat if you're not hungry, There's no mention of when to eat, or frankly, how often to eat. Time of day eating, not part of it. There's nothing magical about eating at 6 p.m. and not eating at 8 p.m. Depends on your schedules, depends on your body. Here's a keto truth. It'll work if you do it. My friend, Dr. Eric Westman, is quoted as saying, "I can guarantee it'll work. I just can't guarantee you'll do it." And that is hard for some of us to swallow, pardon the expression, because we would rather have it be someone else's fault or some circumstance that happened or our special challenges that prevent us from being successful. And I know because I employed all of those excuses, and they weren't explanations, they were excuses. But I would have rather had a pity party for myself. Why can't other people around me eat what they want and they stay thin and I'm so fat? Oh, boo-hoo. I did that. Oh, I was doing great, and then life happened. I do wanna know, you know what day life stops happening for us? Is the day we die. Then we don't have to worry about life happening for us. There will always be something. And it's not like we just use food to deal with tough things that happen in life. Here's a keto truth. We don't have to use food to celebrate everything. And if we do, it doesn't have to be sweets, carby, junky. Here's a keto truth. We call it junk food and then we eat it anyway. And we feed it to our children. Here, honey, have some more junk. Keto truth. Carbohydrate is not an essential macronutrient. That's not just a keto truth. That happens to be a scientific truth. Carbohydrate, so all the food that humans consume is made up of carbohydrate, fat, and protein. Of those three macronutrients, and so when people say, look at your macros, the M word, they're talking about macronutrients, large nutrients, as opposed to micronutrients and minerals and all that stuff. Of those three macronutrients, we must consume fat and protein because the amino acids that we get that are in the fat and protein are essential, meaning our bodies can't make them themselves. There are, I think it's 9 amino acids that are essential for cell health, growth, and let's face it, we have to take care of our cells because the cells are what we all made of. Everything, every organ, everything is made up of cells. You want them healthy. Carbohydrate is not an essential macronutrient. That means we don't have to consume carbohydrate to get the product of carbohydrate consumption. Our bodies can create, the liver and the kidney can create glucose, which is what we get from carbohydrate, glucose being sugar, through neoglucogenesis. Gluconeogenesis, neoglucose. We make it new. And we don't need that much. So it's not essential. So there is no minimum amount of here's a keto truth, no minimum amount of leafy greens that one must consume, no matter what some people tell you, and then try to sell you away. Oh my God, I have to eat that many leafy greens. I couldn't possibly. Oh, that's okay. I'll sell you these pills. You can have them instead. Another keto truth. It's not the presence of the fat that helps us burn fat. A ketogenic protocol is one whereby we burn body fat. We burn fat for fuel. Let me clear it up. We burn fat for fuel. If we are consuming, drinking lots and lots of fat, added fat, then our body, if we are burning fat for fuel, doesn't need to burn our body fat because we're providing it. We're drinking it down. You don't have to eat fat to burn the fat. That's not the presence of the fat that helps the process. It's the absence of the carbs. Keto truth. It's not the presence of the fat. It's the absence of the carbs. Eat the fat. So that's a conundrum. Oh, you're saying you don't have to eat fat. You don't have to eat added fat. Buttery coffee. MCT oil is a big waste of money. Come on. It can't be. Anyway, I'll go into that another time. So we don't have to eat fat to burn fat. No, it's added fat. Eat the fat that comes with the protein. What does that mean? Eat the eggs with the yolks. We've got eggs back there. Eat the eggs with the yolks. Eat the fat with the pork chop. Eat a chuck roast. Don't get the lean cut of meat. Get the nice fatty cut of meat and eat the fat that comes with it. Nature packaged it just beautifully. Eat the fat with the bacon. Eat the poultry with the skin. One of the most nutrient things you can find is to eat organ meats, which I have grown to like. I used to not be able to tolerate them, but now I actually look forward to them. And they're very nutrient dense. So a keto non-truth is you must eat fat to burn fat. No, you must lay off the carbs. When you lay off the carbs, the liver stops pumping out glucose. Other than, it'll make its own as needed, but it's not a fire hose of glucose. And so the body says, well, where's my glucose? No problem. I'll switch to burning fat for fuel. Oh, here's another keto non-truth. You need to shake it up and reintroduce carbs every now and again to shock your system. That's silly. That's just made up. That's just silly. That's just an excuse to eat carbs. If you want to eat carbs, fine. You're an adult. I'm going to assume that you're an adult if you're listening to my voice, because I can't imagine any youngsters are interested. Make a choice. It's just a choice. It's a food decision. And if it doesn't serve you well, then maybe you won't make that choice again. If you say, well, I don't care what you say, I'm not giving up dessert because food is love. I don't say that. I say love is love. Food is fuel. What if you were with people and there was no food? Could you not love them? I mean, not no food ever. If you're at an event? What if you're with your closest friends or your family or a combination of that and you're walking through the park? Can you love that time even if you're not eating food? We love people. We use food for fuel. You guys might have some keto truths of your own, and I would welcome you to share them. Here's the keto truth. If a food product says keto on the label, it's not. It's full of carbs. Because you could say anything you want. I could say anything I want. Listen to this. There's an Atkins commercial out now with that dishy raw blow. Chocolate chip cookies. Now, the Atkins name was sold a long time ago to guess who? Nestle. So this is not endorsed by the original Dr. Atkins or nor his wife nor anything like that. Chocolate chip cookies. What does Rob Lowe say about the chocolate chip cookies? 13 grams of protein and not a ton of net carbs. Now, there's a scientific statement for you. They can say anything they want. Not a ton of net carbs. So, keto truth. If it says keto on the label, it's not. If it's shelf stable, for the most part, it's got stabilizers, which almost always are starches and carbs. Keto truth. You do what you want, but net carbs just means more carbs. That was a phrase glommed on to by the food manufacturers from one study that I think even the person who wrote the original paper said, you know what, that doesn't really hold water. Further research says it doesn't hold water. That thing being that fiber, you can subtract out fiber grams from carbohydrate grams and get net carbs. That's what net carbs is. It's total carbs minus fiber. But there's no evidence that eating fiber doesn't impact us in a negative way. It's just more carbs. Keto truth. It works. I started out with that. I'm going to repeat it. It works. I think I shared last week that somebody shared with me that their doctor said, it's good job you've lost 30 pounds. But the thing about keto is it works until it stops working. It works until you stop doing it. Don't blame keto for what the net carbs did. Don't blame keto for what the cheat day did or the cheat meal or the cheat holiday. Don't blame keto because you say, I can't do it because I don't have a gallbladder. There are people in my group who have no gallbladder, no thyroid, have had a hysterectomy, and have other underlying situations, and they do it, and it's fine. We want to come up with explanations why it won't work for us, but they're not explanations, they're excuses. I asked Dr. Westman, is there any medical condition for which keto is contraindicated? Nope. It's not going to hurt anything, for sure. Okay, I am going to turn my attention to you guys. Thank you for being present and commenting. I am going to Shameless Commerce division, hat tip to the Car Talk guys, where I'm going to talk about a couple of things. First of all, hashtag Casey's Pink Drink. This is not commercial. I just always get asked about it. Tall glass, full of ice, diet tonic water, splash of diet cranberry, squeeze of lime. I'm always asked. You do not need to purchase one thing to be 100% successful at this protocol. Nothing. But I will sell you mugs and t-shirts all day long. I'm wearing a t-shirt right now, and the link should be below this to my Teespring store. This is a flowy tank. It's a racerback tank. This is size small for reference. This says go, GKWC. Go keto with Casey. And their mugs and things. You can get a steel water bottle, which is actually quite good. It's 20 ounces and lots of mugs. This one says lay off the carbs and lay off the excuses. And it has my mug on the back of the mug. Mug meaning my face. At my blog, you can see 12-month record book. And I don't know that I'll get any more of these. So when they're gone, I think. But it's a habit tracker. And it's a mood tracker. And it's a little diary. And it's got sayings in it. And I went ahead and from everywhere, I quote everyone from Yoda to His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama to Mae West. But here's one. And I think this folds in nicely with what's going on in the ketosphere. This is from Confucius. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. And another one is from Thomas Edison. I think this also is apropos. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Think about that now. Oh, I'm doing this and I only lost 10 pounds in the last 3 months. Well, around Go Keto with Casey, we try to expunge the word only from sentences like that. I lost 10 pounds, full stop. And I said, I'm not going to do it anymore because it's taking too daggone long. And then, what was the other one? Oh, I don't know. I lost it somewhere. Did I already? Oh, Dr. Seuss. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. How is that? It's quite profound. You got a brain. You're an adult. Decide which way you're going to go. Anyway, you can see that at my blog along with other stuff. I think I left the pop sockets. I didn't bring them down. Okay, now, thank you. Oh, and I have a private support group at patreon.com. Some of the patrons are here at patreon.com. It is a private support group. And I often say people join it not to get access to me, but to get access to each other. Depending on your pledge level, 20 pre-recorded video snippets from me a month. I make them every weekday morning at this countertop. No makeup, sometimes before coffee, with the rooster crowing in the background. Topics generally suggested by patrons. Going up from there, handful of patron-only live streams on Crowdcast. Up from there, a handful of patron-only video group sessions on Zoom. Up from there, monthly one-on-one with me. Commercial over. Thank you. Now, let me see what you guys are talking about. And I just jump in with the first one I see. Veronica Calderon. Hello, Casey from Floresville, Texas. Joni Sanchez. Good morning, sunshine. Hey, P. Glasgow. I'm new here. Please advise what book you would recommend by Dr. Westman. Honestly, there's one book I recommend because it's one I did. The latest book by Dr. Westman is End Your Carb Confusion. And I'm actually grateful to be acknowledged in the back in the acknowledgments. But if I was going to get one book, it would be The Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Living by Doctors Stephen Phinney and Jeff Volek. Any books that I can kind of recommend are at my blog under references. And then it's books that I would recommend, and including a link to endocrine fusion. But you don't need a book. Lay off the carbs. What is a carb? It's anything pretty much that's not from an animal. Pretty much. And you don't have to eat vegetables. Fruit is not on page 4. So there you go. Katarina Simeone. Keto without the crazy. Dr. Westman and Amy Berger. Yes, that she needs to trademark that phrase. Amy's my friend. Sundel Lepe. I am so thankful I found keto. It has saved my life in so many ways. Diana from, okay, Doxwungal. Okay, everyone's giving the commercial for Amy and Eric. Okay, good. Answers there. So, okay, I guess I got to the end of the comments. Great. I should scroll up and see if there are any I missed. Okay, Katarina Simeone. Casey, do you ever eat fruit? I know your weight's stable for years, so I was curious. No. Fruit is sugar. That's all it is. Okay. Mary Manchester. We're okay. HHH. Oh, I'm going to guess it's very hot. Sardines. Okay. So when someone's wondering, what about sardines? In our Patreon group and on the live stream, someone was typing, someone had a little victory. And oh, that's awesome. And Judy Porterfield, her predictive text, instead of writing, that's awesome, wrote, that's sardines. So now that is our little cheer. Edward McCowan, happy 4th. Stick to the good meats. Yes. Stacy Jacobs writes, I need to go buy a birthday steak, right? You don't need a birthday cake, eat a birthday steak. Okay, Catherine, yeah, and thank you again for asking. No, I don't eat fruit. My birthday is the 4th too, writes Sundel Lepe. Another keto truth. Even if you're burning fat for fuel and losing weight and your blood work is great, it doesn't fix everything. It has been life-changing for me on a very personal level. It has changed my attitude about myself. It simply has allowed me to enjoy my already very good life, even, more fully. But if you're in a cruddy relationship, it may not get better. Even as you're burning fat for fuel, it may get cruddier. If you have acquaintances, they may no longer be in your circle, or they may not want you in their circle. If you start feeling better about yourself, if your shared activity is eating junk food, and everyone does it, so no one sticks out like a sore thumb, relationships may change. It doesn't cure cancer. There's a lot of research that some cancers particularly thrive on glucose. But even if you're burning fat for fuel, you're not choking 100% a cancer cell from glucose because our bodies make glucose. But there is good evidence that we can, some cancers don't thrive if we're not eating carbs. It doesn't fix everything. Sony from Texas. Good morning. Lost 10 pounds after restarting keto 4 months. Yippee! Love your live and good morning. All from San Antonio. Okay, Paula Brown asked, do we need to worry about vitamin C with no fruit? No. There's there are vitamins. This is a very nutrient-dense way of eating. And frankly, there was 100 some years ago, Dr. Phinney talks about this, there were some sailors who were stranded, like up in the upper Hudson Bay, I believe, in ice. They were stuck for months. And they did not get scurvy, even though they did not have fruit. Um, let me see. Somebody wrote something about, Andrea L. writes, people ask me if I eat fruit, and I say yes, avocado, bell peppers, and zucchini. Of course, the last two are vegetables, but yes, avocado is a fruit. Tomato is a fruit. And gram for gram, you know what? I might be wrong on that. You might be right. Bell peppers and zucchini may be fruit. I stand corrected in my thinking. Gram for gram, there's more potassium in avocado than there is in banana. There's a truth for you. Okay, P. Glasgow writes, what do you mean by if it's not on page 4, don't eat it? This comes from Dr. Westman's. My story was I'd given up on losing weight. I didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. I Googled how to not take insulin for type 2 diabetes, and I was quickly taken to the YouTubes, took me to the white coat video of Dr. Eric Westman of Duke University. He and a grad student of his had put a camera in one of his clinic meetings. He has them every Monday to this day with clinic patients that come to Duke to see him. And that time it was just the no starch, no sugar diet. And then the grad student recorded it. You don't see the patients, but you see Dr. Westman talking in his white coat, and he has a 5-page handout. Here's what you're going to do. And he says, and here's the food list. If it's not on page 4 of this 5-page stapled together handout, don't eat it. So it's just called page 4. Well, it's now been anyway. And you can get a link to it below, but you don't need a food list. Fatty sources of protein, limited amounts of non-starchy vegetables or none, no fruit, limited amounts of full-fat dairy, no nuts. Nuts are not on page 4. Why? Because they're very calorically and carb dense. So guess what? Keto truth. Making fake versions of the stuff that got us fat in the first place is possibly not a good idea. That's my truth. But what is truth is almonds are not on page 4. So almond flour is not on page 4. Neither is oat flake or stuff. What did I eat yesterday? I had a cheese omelet with a sausage patty. And I had bacon wrapped scallops. I did eat 3 of the little cheese crackers my husband makes. I made a video on that. They're very economical. They're made with American cheese. And he puts them in the microwave for 60 seconds, and they're delicious and they're crunchy. And I had 3 of those. Why did I bring that up? I don't recall. Glasses, please. Judy writes, love grilling those good meats this weekend too. We did ribeye last night. So very satisfying. I don't miss the carby extras. Oh, because I was talking about baked goods and stuff. Karen Trout, still growing strong. Hey, in South Africa. Where is it called Banting? The Banting diet down in South Africa? Why would it be called Banting? Because Dr. William Banting, an undertaker in England in 1863, wrote a treatise on corpulence. He'd gotten quite heavy. So I'm sure he got it from some Frenchman. He just lay off the carbs. So he wrote a treatise on corpulence. It's been around that long. This is not a fad. Sonia from Texas writes, oh my relationships are changing since restarting keto at work. Not being invited to fast food restaurants. Not mad about that. Just taking care of my health. Go keto with Casey. Thank you. And you know what? I've been out with friends who are eating junk. I just don't eat it. Thanks. No. Even one was my birthday. It was the first year I was doing this. And I was treated by good friends to a lovely thing in the bar area of Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. They took me out. I passed on the French fries. I even passed on the cake, the little thing of cake. I said, you guys enjoy it. I appreciated the thought, and I didn't eat the cake. Stephanie Lynn, a brownie's a brownie. P. Glasgow. Wow, you look amazing. Congratulations. Thank you. I'm going to look this up and get on the road to health. Now, I am very pleased. Keto truth. Exercise is not required, but it's not a bad idea. I am exercising, and I use my Total Gym. You can see a lot of the links to the things I use that are they're not food products, they're things at my blog, link below, but it's just caseydurango.com. Because I want to be strong. I'm not doing this. Exercise is an ineffective way of burning fat, body fat. It's an excellent way to build muscle. Pretty much you need to work. You have to have some kind of resistance or weight bearing exercises to build muscle. Piling on the protein, eating a bunch of protein is not going to build muscle. Anyway, so I'm pleased because I want to take however much time I have left. I want to walk erect. I want to feel good about myself. I want to be strong. I'm not as strong as I think sometimes. We bought 450 pounds of chicken feed the other day, and I was helping, my husband and I were helping the workers load the stuff in the back of and this, yeah, she's younger and she's taller and she does this all day long. She was not without effort, but she was picking up the 50-pound bag and putting it in the back of the pickup truck. And I was like, yeah, I think that. Anyway, I'm not as strong as I think, but I am quite short. My center of gravity is lower. Speak the truth. Isn't American cheese processed? Interesting thing. Read about American cheese. Now, this is not processed cheese product. It's deluxe American cheese. Let's not be cheese snobs. You can make it with cheddar if you want. It just happens to work out well with what we've got. Sandel Lupe writes, I have been watching all the fat documentaries, the fat fiction. It is amazing learning how much we never knew we never knew. Judy Porterfield writes, focusing on page 4 is definitely the key. Casey made me realize that and simplified keto so it's not so confusing. Thank you so much, Casey. Thank you, Judy, and congratulations to you. And Jean Llewellyn Miles writes, excellent presentation. Well, thank you. And with that, I am going to wrap up. I appreciate you letting me be part of your Saturday. Just keep it simple. Choose your sources wisely, and I would recommend highly stepping away, not immersing yourself in channel after channel, Facebook group after Facebook group. I don't even know why. Do not do not obsess over photos of food. I have a t-shirt. Food is not the boss of me. If we don't want to be obsessing about food, let's not obsess about food. I'm tired of thinking about food. I enjoy when I eat. I just don't want to think about it otherwise. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Oh, Durham Sport Group meeting. I will stream it live. That's Tuesday evening, but you can see it on replay. That's I'll be with Dr. Westman, and that's the first Tuesday of every month. And then the following Monday, so a week from this coming Monday, the Go Keto with Casey meetup in Greensboro at Wine Styles. Everything's free. Nothing, no, you don't have to, I will be selling eggs, by the way, at both places because we've got a lot of eggs and they're delicious. Thank you so much, guys. TTFN. Bye.